It's Charisma. Welcome to my channel, Charisma Thoughts. I am an oracle. I receive a lot of visions. And in my visions, I see a lot of supernatural things. Not just supernatural things, spirits, deities, gods and goddesses of the old, and unknown beings I don't even know the name of. But I see them. For this episode, we're on episode 6, and I'm going to share with you guys a vision or one of the visions that I have of, as you can tell by the thumbnail, of Persephone. The picture that I have up there for the thumbnail is actually a character, which is Persephone, on a webtoon version. She doesn't look like that in my vision, but I just used that picture as a reference because I'm talking about Persephone, and she's actually Persephone in the, you know, anime, comic, webtoon, whatever. I'm not really familiar with it, but I know it comes from there. But yeah, so I mentioned a lot that she's always mentioned in my visions, and she's always like, I see her in my visions from a third person point of view or from a first person point of view, like I'm actually her and I'm experiencing her. Sometimes I'm just observing her from a third person point of view. I'm not sure if that's part of my oracle abilities. You know what? I don't think it is, so let me just stop saying that. I just think that I'm connected to her somehow and whatnot. But the story that we've been told about her, that she is the wife of Hades, which that is true, and she's the queen of the underworld, that is true. And that her father is Zeus, her mother is Demeter. She's the goddess of agriculture and harvest. And like she resides in the earth realm half the year. The rest of the year she resides with Hades. Obviously, there's more to the story to that. When it comes to how it all ended up, how that came to be. But with her as an individual, there's something about her that we do not know, really. Yes, like we may heard the story of Persephone and Hades or about her, but like the mythology version, the information that we do have access to, like the public has access to, we don't know nothing about her. And I know some majority of the people on this planet believe that gods and goddesses, supernatural beings, magic, all that is not real. It's not true. I don't know why I just paused that, but that's not true. Like it is actually very real. Like I have visions about them, and not only that, my experience is like very otherworldly. To be honest, like me, I feel like I'm proof of it. To be honest, and I'm just trying to really figure out how am I involved in all this. What's the connection here? Because I like there's so many people in my visions that's like very interesting. Like for instance, the next few episodes that I'm gonna share is gonna mention these different characters that I saw, and now it has become like a new development lately. Because at first I was just focusing on her because that's all I keep hearing. It's Persephone, 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 and that's all I keep seeing. And like I be seeing her in every other visions. So, I'm like, let me just do a little episode about her and do like a series about her. Because that's what it looks like it's going to be going to. Until I have received more visions of other people that's connected. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, it's like, I'm like, what the hell? It's like I'm really trying to connect the dots, and there's just so many moving parts. You know what's interesting? I remember when I was a child. This is why I know everything connects. I remember when I was a child, I was very big on reading. I would read all types of books. My favorite genre of books was supernatural, fantasy, magic, anything with magic, witches, goddesses, gods. I would read different books pertaining to that. And I remember this one series book. I don't remember the name of the book, but I remember this one book. I'm surprised that I remember it because I was young. But it stuck out to me. It was the story of Persephone and Hades, but it was like the modern day version. It wasn't the version that we all know. So it was the modern day version. So that's very interesting that at this particular moment in my life, I'm sharing with you guys visions that I have about her. And I'm like, I don't, is that a coincidence? No. I feel like that was a connection that I had. Like, it's like my life is getting me prepared for this moment or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. But, because there's more reference clues, I like to call it, that's like that. Like, I would experience it as a child, and then like it's coming back to the forefront right now, and I realize it actually means something. Like, I need to experience that, and I need to connect the dots to those reference clues. So this is very interesting to like put it all together. But yeah, the vision. Sorry, like 5 minutes in. It's supposed to be a short little episode. Yeah, I don't really know much about her, but I know that there is information besides the mythology version about her. If you guys are familiar with the Gnostic Bible, Aleister Crowley spoke of her, like apparently they call her the daughter of Babylon, I believe, and she's considered a child in this Bible, but and I'm like, what's this information? Like, I was reading it. It's like he called her the holy of the holy. Like, she's like, I don't know. I gotta read more information about that. But that was very interesting to see that version, because the only version I knew was the mythology version. With the whole Hades and that. But the version of the Gnostic Bible and Aleister Crowley, if you guys are familiar with him, I don't know much about him, but like when I was reading the Gnostic Bible, he was mentioned, and it showed like what he wrote about her. So like, she also goes by the name Cora, I believe. Yeah, she goes by that name as well. She has many different names, but those are the two names that's associated with her, is Persephone and Cora. But yeah, I feel like there's information, the real information, the true information, when it comes to the gods, and Persephone, that we do not have access to. The public do not have access to, because the public think this is fake. Like, many people think this is fake. People don't believe this is real, and I know firsthand this is actually reality. And it's just people just not really paying attention, because I feel like I already said this so many times, so I don't even need to say it again. But like, I really do feel like it's just they're trying to wake us up this whole time, and people not paying attention. But because people think it's not real, and that's the sad part. But yeah, we see all types of stuff: angels, demons, and beings I don't even know a name for, to be honest. But yeah, I'm still talking too long. The vision. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you guys one of the visions that I saw about her that she was mentioned. I kind of mentioned her a little bit on episode 4, I believe, when I was talking about like Jesus Christ and like the two brothers and the sword and what they said about her, Persephone. Like they were like, you could tell that they respected her, they worshiped her. I mentioned her in that episode, but the vision that I had about her, Persephone is white. Well, the version that I saw of her, she was white in my vision. But like when I'm experiencing her, obviously she's black, which is me. But I'm experiencing her in a third person point of view when I'm, observing the vision, she's white. I also mentioned her in the episode 2, the Alice in Wonderland going down the rabbit hole. And I was explaining to you guys the school, the school with the children, we was crying and like we couldn't move, the MK Ultra situation I was explaining to you, and I said that that vision shifted to me being in a secluded classroom where I was at first watching a young woman at first, and then I was experiencing her, and it was a man that came in that classroom. It wasn't just her, it was a lot of female there, but she didn't do anything. She was just watching everything unfold. But like, there was a man that entered the room. I don't know who this man was. He's a question mark, but I call him Mr. Evil or Evil Person. I don't really care for him at all. But he came in and he raped her from behind, and like she shut down. I had this inner knowing who she was because I saw her before. No, this is the first time I saw her actually. But I had a knowing who she was. She was Persephone. The second vision on why I connected the dot into on why I knew that she was Persephone, because I saw her again, but I saw her in the underworld or somewhere like that. But she was the same person, and that's what I'm going to describe to you guys here. But yeah, so I mentioned her twice actually. So episode 4 and episode 2, I mentioned Persephone. So if you guys want to like watch that episode, you can watch it. I didn't really go in detail about her. I was just describing the visions that I had that she happened to be mentioning. But yeah, those are 2 mentions that I had about her. So now, the vision that I had about her in the underworld. I think this is the underworld, not quite sure per se, because I saw different visions of me being in the underworld, so this is going to be a different part of it. I'm not sure. But it's daytime at this moment. We're in this house, this old house, we're in the house. It's a whole bunch of people in this house. There's a whole different type of people. There's black people, there's white people. There's a whole bunch of people in this this house is not that big, but it's a house. And I'm there, I see Persephone. Again, I cannot see her face, but she has like a short hairstyle. And I can see her from behind, and I'm speaking to her. I'm like speaking to her, but it's like she couldn't see me, like she couldn't hear me, like I was observing that's what I was observing at third person, but it's like I was trying to speak to her too, but like she couldn't see me or hear me at that time. And, like she just looked it down, like she looked it sad, and I don't know what she was sad about, but I was trying to get to her, like I wanted her to leave outside that house for some reason. But in this house, I feel like everyone was dead, like everyone was like literally dead, but like they look alive, they look like very lively. And then I'm going through the house, like the house, the vision is like shifting with it why I'm in that house, and I'm seeing more of the house, I'm seeing more of the people. None of these people I recognize. There's all different types of people. Until I ended up in the room, and that's where I saw my brother. My brother passed away in 2018, but I saw him there, and I'm speaking to him. I'm not in third person anymore. I'm in first person. Like, I'm experiencing the dream, and I'm speaking to him. I said, you gotta leave. You gotta get out this house. I was trying to tell him to get out this house. And then this one dude, question mark, this dude right here, he's a short little, he's short, got black hair. Don't trust him. I feel like he was the devil or something like that. But, or I don't know. I feel like for some reason, he remind me of Crawley. If you guys are familiar with the show Supernatural, and you guys know Crawley, he was like the king of hell or something like that. That's who he remind me of. He doesn't look like him, he just remind me of him for some reason. But like basically he was trying to get my brother to stay, and I was trying to get my brother to get out the house, as well as Persephone. But Persephone, I don't know, like she was just looking all sad. She's somewhere else within that house. But again, I told you the vision shifted with me as I'm going through the house, and I ended up in a room, and that's where I saw my brother. He was like sitting down on the bed, and I sat next to him. I was speaking to him like face to face. I was like, you gotta leave, you gotta go. And as I'm speaking to him, he's like looking at me, and he's looking at the dude, and the dude was trying to convince him to stay. This Crawley person, from Supernatural, he represents that character. So Crawley guy, I feel like he was bad news. He just gave me bad vibes. I don't trust him. And he was trying to convince my brother to stay, and I was trying to tell my brother to leave. And again, I don't know where we was, but I think we were in the underworld. The underworld is basically where the dead resides or something like that. But I think we were in the underworld. It's just a different part. I just don't know what this part was. So for some reason, I think I grabbed my brother or whatever, or what. It shifted again, and now we're outside. So I don't know what happened with my brother and him. I don't know, but it shifted. So I'm outside this time. It's still daytime. Persephone's out there, as well as this woman. This is one woman. I don't know. She's like a very like a motherly figure to me. She reminded me of my kindergarten teacher that I had when I was younger. For some reason, she reminded me of her. but she's like very motherly, very nurturing, and I trust her. For some reason, I could trust her. I trust her. But she was like telling me like we gotta get Persephone to get her out. Like we gotta leave, and then here go Persephone. This Persephone, this virgin, this is the same girl that got raped in that the vision that I shared with you guys. She was busy trying to look for this person named Zyger. It starts with a Z. I didn't really care. I'm like, girl, first of all, we got to go, because like at that moment, the reason why that mother figure person who reminded me of my kindergarten teacher, the reason why she was trying to tell us that we had to go is because there were like vampires coming after us or something, or I think they were vampires, I don't know, but they were like, they wasn't human. They were coming after us, and like they was like, not just us, they was killing people. Even though we were all dead, they were doing something that they were supposed to be doing. So we was trying to get Persephone and me out of that place we were in. We was trying to leave, and then Persephone was so busy trying to look for this person named Zagger or whatever his name is. She's trying busy looking for him. I had to grab her. I was mad. Like when I'm seeing this at first third person at this point. At first it was first person, and then it turns to third person. I know it's kind of confusing. I keep saying that, but it's like how my visions are. Like sometimes I'm experiencing it. Sometimes I'm an observer. So at that moment I'm observing now, and I'm seeing how it unfolds. And I don't remember what happened after. Well, it was a lot of things that happened actually, but it doesn't correlate to her. But that was the first vision that I actually had of her. I knew who she was. She was Persephone, even though I couldn't see her face. I always saw the back of her head, and she always looked like she always had her head like tilted down a little bit. But I just knew who she was. If she's like tall, like she like my height. She like my height. She had a short, like her hair was like a bob cut, like it was short. She was white, and yeah. But you can tell that I don't know who she was looking for. I think it was a lover of hers. Not lover. She's supposed to be married to Hades. But whoever this person was, she really wanted to see this person. That's all I gotta say. So that was the first vision I had of her. And then the second one was, the school that I mentioned. That was episode 2. And then the third time was episode 4, where I mentioned her. Well, she wasn't really there, to be honest, in episode 4, so no, she was a mention. Was there other visions about her? Yes. Okay, I also stated this too. I didn't make an episode for this, but I shared this spiritual vision on my channel. Marilyn Monroe, she was Persephone incarnated. When Marilyn Monroe was, when she had her incarnation in this lifetime, back in she died in 1950s. I think she was born in 1930s or something like that. I'm not quite sure. But it was said that she was Persephone. And I actually saw a vision of her, like she was wearing a crown and she was like dancing. And she was Marilyn Monroe in the vision. And like it was other people where I was wearing a crown. It was men. I don't know who these men were, but they were wearing a crown too. But yeah, she's Persephone too. So that's a different version of her that I saw. That's Persephone. So I think that's the main one that stuck out to me when they mentioned her. But I'm still trying to figure out everything pertaining to her, because it's just more to it. And I have this theory. I think Eve is Persephone. Like Adam and Eve. I think Eve is Persephone. There's a reason why I think that, because Eve been mentioned a lot in my dream too, in my vision. So yeah, I'm trying to feel like what's the importance here. Like, what does she has to do with everything? Because like she looked like a teenager or a young adult in my visions. 2, who really is she, to be honest? Like, who is she? I don't know. 3, where the fuck is Hades? I have not seen him not once. he was mentioned, but I have not seen him in none of my visions. Um, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I just want to describe what the fuck did I just see, not necessarily what it all means. Again, I mentioned this before. If I do not discuss what it all mean or find a hidden meaning or the hidden message in it, there's going to be an updated version to it. So stay tuned for all that once I gain a clarity. But I want to share these visions that really showcase itself to me when it came all about Persephone. I just like get it out there. I'm like, because she is the key to all of it, because she's like the main character. Like, it's Persephone. And then also the twins. That's going to be the next episode after. I'm going to describe you guys. I'm going to, introduce you guys to the twins. And these twins, I keep having visions about them too. These twins they are top level. Like, I don't know who they are, but they something. But yeah, just stay tuned for that. Sorry again if it was all over the place. I'm gonna get better. Just give me time. But I'm just trying to remember every vision that I had of her. I will be more structured and more straight to the point. But that is all for today's episode. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Comment down below, like and subscribe if you like the video, and subscribe if you want to know more about my visions that I'm going to share more of. And yeah, that is all. Thank you. Sending you lots and lots of rainbows. Bye.